Well, good evening, my Facebook friends around the world, and it is Mr. Sunshine, Rolls-Royce technician Eddie, coming to you live right here, right now. And boy, have I got a treat for you. You know, Mr. Sunshine, no matter where he goes, things are going to be taking place. Things are going to be cultivating here in sunny South Florida. And you know what? Right now, there's a lot cultivating right here. Now, we got a lot of material we're looking at right now. As a matter of fact, we're going to discuss a little bit of what we have going on here in a few minutes. We're going to take a little detail. These are the bodies of the brake accumulators. We just took them out of the tank. You can see they are totally stripped down. They're stripped down to nothing. We gutted it out. All right, we pulled out every O-ring, every spring, every valve, all of it. And this is the core, as you will. All right, we actually have two of them. There's two to fit each one of them vehicles, so you're getting that opportunity to see it firsthand. You're never going to see this anywhere else, okay? It's actually rare to see this. Most people are never going to sit here and discuss what we got going on here. But what you're looking at right here, we're going to put a little light on the subject down there. There you go. You can see that right down in here. These are the two cores. We're going to set those right over there. This is very important here. These are the brake valve switches. This is what turns the light on when there's a lack of pressure inside. This is actually going to get all straightened out. As you can see, it's all bent up. So we're going to take some pliers. We're going to straighten all of that up. This all going to get sandblasted, pressure washed. And as a matter of fact, we put this in a little there. You can see the pressure spring right here. Now, this is a special pressure spring. It's regulated to set it off at a certain pressure. Here's the little piece that it sits on. This is actually the other one over here for the other brim. This is the brass piece. You can see this right here. It is rubber on one side. It's brass on the other. When the pressure puts it and it releases, it then sets the light out. All right, and there's the housing here. This is all going to get clean, sandblast, polished, and everything else that goes with it. So you can see this right here. We're going to actually put them both together here so you have the opportunity to see how it goes apart here as such. All right, these are bleeder valves. These are the bleeder valves. We're actually going to install new bleeder valves in the kit that comes with it, so we'll set that aside. This is one of the tubes. This is the brake tube that connects into the side of the brake valve. There's actually two of these. The other one's still in the tank. We still have the little red cap on that one there as well. These here are the bobbins. These are the bobbins. These get the O-rings put on here. These are all going to have to get polished up. You can see even after 50 to 60 years. This was I believe this was a 1969 or 1970 that we're working on today. We're going to be working on another one tomorrow, a later model, so we'll be working on that. We're going to have that'll be shipped in here tomorrow. But this is the bobbin. This bobbin is going to get completely polished. It's actually going to look like chrome by the time we're done. So we actually have each one of these. Each gets a bobbin, so we're going to set that aside over there just like that. The O-rings are going to go back on here. You can see all the gunk in here. All of that's going to get cleaned up completely. These are the springs. These are the springs inside these Rolls-Royce. This is what gives the pressure as it goes in and out. Scott Sims. Oh, my God, the realtor, the rockin' realtor superstar, Scott Sims, coming out of Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City madman, the realtor, the number one realtor going on up there in Michigan. You know, Scott, let me tell you something. The way you play that guitar is the way you take a piece of real estate, put it in, get the contract, get the seller's disclosure, go ahead and get it up on sale, get the inspection done, get it under contract, and then take it right to the closing. Well, let me tell you something, my friend, you are rocking. So we're going to continue here. These are the end caps. These are the end caps that get screwed back in that holds all of this back together. All right, now you're talking Rolls-Royces. You actually, as a matter of fact, this week I'm going to get I do believe it was a 1950 Rolls-Royce Silver Dawn ignition and it needs a key made. So you're going to be able to get to see Locksmith Eddy making a key for that as well. So this actually has two of these. These are all going to get polished. They're all going to actually literally look like chrome when we're done. These are the end caps. These two end caps close the brake accumulator down. There's two of these here. As a matter of fact, here's the other one. So we'll set that aside over there. We have the screws. These are the screws that hold these together. There's one goes there, one goes there, one on either one, and then they have a small one over here that goes on the end. So we're going to set those screws. These screws also will get polished. They will actually look like chrome when we're done with those. So we're going to set those aside right over there. Another bleeder. This is a bleeder valve that goes up on top here. It actually screws in here. This is where the brake line connects right here. Here's this line here, actually goes down onto that, and that feeds these with RR363 Rolls-Royce brake fluid. So you can't use anything else in there. You got to be used RR363 brake fluid. This is the end here. We actually put a O-ring on here that actually goes in to the bobbin after you put the pin back in here, the spring, the bypass valve. Here's a little bypass blow valve here. All right, when the pressure gets too great, we're going to replace this little nylon bushing on the end of that. That's the goes down inside after this is all clean naturally. It's actually like a surgeon. That's why Rolls-Royce lasts virtually forever, because the way they were machined, the way they were made, and the ones that you see laying out in a junkyard, because the brakes brake light came on, there wasn't any brakes. They didn't know Mr. Sunshine Rolls-Royce technician Eddy, okay? If they would have known me, that car would still be literally riding on the road today. Now this, you can see this is an old O-ring here. We're going to replace all the O-rings. We've got special O-rings, high pressure. This is actually going to get thrown out, so we don't need that one whatsoever. We also have another bleeder valve. We're going to set that aside, another valve for the brakes. This is another one here. Now, these are the shims. These shims, each one of these, we're going to you got to use a micrometer, and then they put the shims in here. These little fine shims go down in, and they take up the space between the bottom of the bottom. These two shims literally just sit down there. This spring sits there. This end cap is made to go here. We're going to actually put a brand new one of these on. If you get a load of that ball bearing right there, you see that ball bearing? That ball bearing gets hit by this pin right here. This is the pin that snacks it up and down just like that. It works billions and billions of times in there, and eventually even a hardened stainless steel ball bearing. So we're going to put a new one in. It'll last another 50 years, all right? So that's how that's going to go. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to put our shims over here. Our shims go over here on the side, and then we have these two shims. These two, you can see they're not the same as that. These are wave washers. These wave washers go on top of the brake accumulator, and then it sits down on here, and then when you screw it down on there with this nut, all right, the wave washer will actually keep this. This is actually danger. High pressure, do not puncture, apply heat, or release the cap. There is 1,200 PSI. That's 1,200 pounds of nitrogen in those spheres. So when you're running down a Rolls Royce and they tell you it rides like a cloud, well, you're sitting literally on 1,200 PSI of nitrogen that balances the car and runs the brakes. All right, this is the end that goes into the back here, into the pin right there, so we'll put that over there. This is the springs. We're going to put that here. We're going to put that. This is the little kind. We're going to put brand new ones in there. After you put the bobbin and everything together in here, you stick this little cap down there that holds the bobbin, that holds the spring, and it holds the little bypass valve. If you don't put that bypass valve in, that thing will just continue to pump up, because the engine with the camshaft is pumping the brake pumps. As a matter of fact, we're going to have 2 brake pumps come in this week We're going to dismantle them. We're going to show you how they sit. There's one on each side of the engine, one in the top, one in the back. One runs the brakes, the other one runs the hydraulic system. So we're going to actually dismantle the brake pump, so you're actually going to see how that gets rebuilt. These videos actually go to YouTube, to my Rolls-Royce people from around the world. We get parts shipped in from Dubai. I've had them come in from Kuwait. As a matter of fact, I actually sold 2 Rolls-Royces to a client over there in Saudi Arabia. So they actually picked them up and had them shipped over there to a dear friend of mine, Mohammed Al-Hassad. It's over there. So we got that all taken care of. So these are the 2 springs. These are the 2. We're going to replace most of this stuff with all brand new stuff. So there it is. If you were actually wondering what the inside of a Rolls-Royce brake caliper, if you ever think about buying a Rolls-Royce, Silver Cloud, the big old Clouds, the one that Arthur Dudley Moore drove, the Silver Shadow, Silver Wraith, Corniche convertibles. Those have the round headlights up to 1980, and then they go to the Silver Spirit and the Silver Spur, long wheelbase with the square headlights, and then they all have different type of units, but for the 1967 to the 1980, Silver Shadow, Silver Wraith, Corniche convertible, Corniche coupe. All right, these are the exact parts that you're going to see in all of them. Very well made, very well machined. If you maintain them, literally, the cars will literally last forever, unless somebody just doesn't care about doing it anymore and they just let it sit out there and it goes to pieces. I've seen Rolls-Royces running with 300,000 miles and still running and still look as beautiful as ever, just as the owners are taking care of them. Labor's a love, but Mr. Sunshine, Rolls-Royce technician Eddie, gave you a little tutorial here on all the parts. We separated them. In the next day or so, we will start to glass bead these. We're going to put them in our glass bead cabinet. We're going to sandblast everything, and then we're going to polish them. We actually use high-speed buffers. We actually use wire wheels, and then we use Dremels with the things to get down here into the little crevices so that when we're done, it's actually going to look like a totally chromed piece of polished brake accumulator, right down to the bare metal and polished up. And brake pump, these brake switches here, very inclusive because my friends around, they noticed that their light is on. They had their brake accumulator and the brake valve rebuilt, and they're still wondering why. Well, more than likely, it's the contacts in here. You can see how dirty this is. It's not making the contact in the switch, thus giving you the red light on your Christmas tree, as you will, on the front dashboard. Brake light 1, brake light 2. So there it is, Mr. Sunshine, Rolls-Royce technician Eddie, coming to you live right here in sunny South Florida. Beautiful evening. Tomorrow we will be at Mar-a-Lago for dinner. Tonight I'm sitting here in my overall bib working on the Rolls-Royce parts for my client that will be expecting to have this back probably in the next 48 hours. He should have them back by then. All right, other than that, I hope you all have a great day. Mr. Sunshine coming to you live right here, right now in sunny South Florida. Thank you for watching.